Stay tuned because I had a great opportunity to interview the Air Force Thunderbird pilot number 3 who performed at the Pacific Air Show this last weekend. Take a look. I'm standing in front of the United States Air Force Air Demonstration Squadron, the Thunderbirds, who perform in air shows across the country. Their job is to delight the audience with their aviation skills, speed, pride, and spirit of American aviation. I'm with Major Nathan Hoffman, who is the number 3 Air Force Thunderbird. Well, thank you for being with us.
Thanks, Lisa, for having me.
Well, this is a really great opportunity. So how long have you been flying the number 3 plane?
So this is my second year on the team. So I've been flying for about just over 2 years now, including the training season, which actually starts for my replacement right now.
Okay.
In fact, my replacement's at home, starting to get some of his first flight requirements knocked out, and then getting ready to take over the training season.
Okay, so you only get to fly 2 years. I thought it was a little longer than that.
Yes, ma'am. It's a 2-year assignment. It ends up working out to be about 2.5 years. We're on the road 250 days a year, and we do about 35 different show sites to about 72 different air shows, and that's a lot of time away from the family. And so there's a 2-year limit on what our families will accept.
Well, I think that's a good idea because then it gives you other opportunities to do other things for the Air Force, correct?
It really does, absolutely. So from here, a lot of us will go on to future education opportunities through professional military education. I myself am going to go back to flying Gray Vipers out in South Korea.
Oh, wow. That sounds very exciting. All right, let me ask you, what kind of physical, mental, and just education process goes into being a fighter pilot?
To become a fighter pilot, it's a very competitive process, and that's somewhat by design, but also by the sheer numbers of folks that want to go on and fly on the leading edge and employ based on our best national interests. So everyone that's a pilot, a fighter pilot, is an officer, so it requires a 4-year degree at the very least. Many go on and do masters and other advanced options. And then once you commission as an officer, you'll go to about 2 years of pilot training. The first year is learning how to fly, both in a T6 or a T38. And then once you graduate there, it's another year in your weapon system to become fully qualified for combat.
Okay, and then at what point then do you get to fly a jet after that?
Absolutely. So when we start flying, we learn in a small 2-seat airplane, front and back tandem seat. And it's a lot like a P-51. So for those who are Warbird fans, my understanding is that the performance and handling is very similar to that. Incredible airplane to fly, and that's about 6 years. Then your first time in a centerline thrust aircraft is in the T-38, as you're learning how to fly a little bit faster, a little bit more maneuverable airplane.
Now from a physical standpoint though, you obviously have to stay in good shape.
Yeah, absolutely. These aircraft right here are Block 52 F-16s. And they're capable of pulling up to 9 Gs. And basically that's about a multiple of your body weight. So right now we're standing at 1 G. If we were to experience 2 times our body weight, that's 2 Gs and so on. So 9 times your body weight gets pretty heavy, and you've got to be in pretty good cardio and muscular shape just to keep the brain fully fueled with blood and oxygen so that you don't black out.
Yeah, well, that would be an awful thing. And I actually knew that you were in the Block 52 series.
Nice.
I'll have you know, and I'm just going to prove it to you. Look,
cool.
52 Block series.
Exactly.
I knew that. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the difference between flying over water and flying over land.
So flying over water is a unique challenge, and we don't get this opportunity at many of the show sites we go to, so we always appreciate it. The air is very stable over the water, so the conditions are very smooth. and it allows us to really keep the formations really tight and stable throughout the demonstration. But it also presents unique challenges in terms of environmental impacts. So if you get hazy or cloudy layers that are close to water, sometimes it's difficult to discern where the sky is and where the water is, and it lends itself to spatial disorientation. So we take extra precautions and use certain aspects of the jet that allow us to make sure that we're putting on a 100% safe demonstration.
Well, that's a good definition between the two, because I'm sure it does change. So as we were talking before, there are a lot of young men and women who would love to be pilots. Tell me why now is such a good time for someone to, maybe explore that opportunity with the Air Force.
Now's a fantastic time to start to pursue any kind of occupation in aviation, whether it be the civilian route or the military route. And what I would say to anybody is that aviation isn't for everybody, but the people that have a passion for aviation know it, and it's just something that's inside of you that you can't shake. And that's kind of what happened to me. Is I signed up for the military and was told I would never fly. I still had that passion to be in the air, and so what I would tell young people today is that you can never give up. It's a great time right now to learn and develop and become experienced aviators through a variety of general aviation opportunities. But you basically have an environment right now that is craving anyone. So if you have even the slightest inkling that you would want to pursue a career in aviation, now's the time to get into it.
Good answer. I like that answer. Okay, so now, what I will say is that many of our viewers are veterans of all different branches of the military. So I would ask you, what would you say to them? And then also, how has being in the Air Force changed your perspective in life?
Those are two incredibly difficult questions. The first thing I would say to any veteran, and the thing that I love to say to all our veterans, is thank you for your service. We would not be the country we are today without them. And so my hat is off. I salute them proudly, and they're the inspiration for me to want to continue to make our Air Force and our military the best that it can possibly be, so that we can continue to enjoy the freedoms that we have. So bottom line is thank you for your service and sacrifice for our country, because they really laid the groundwork. My perspective has changed throughout my time in the Air Force. I've been in 13 years in December, and what I would say is I've never been more proud of my Air Force. I've never been more proud of the people that I get to work with. And I've never been more confident that we are going to continue to win our nation's wars. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot in the news that is very discouraging. The constant fighting that goes on between groups, and in some regards I think is embarrassing. But I can tell you that regardless of what powers may be, the people that are in the military today are going to give their utmost for our country, and that, as far as I'm concerned, will never change.
This has been an awesome adventure with the United States Air Force Thunderbirds here at the Joint Forces Base in Los Alamitos. Thanks for watching.